A foodborne illness making people sick. The cases of a parasite now found right here in our community. This man is accused of luring women to his home and filming them without permission. Investigators say he was impersonating a massage therapy student. And neighbors say they've lost everything due to black mold in their apartments. They tell us little was done to warn the people who live there.
Live, where news comes first. This is WECT News.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Frances Weller. We're learning more details tonight about a foodborne illness that has reached southeastern North Carolina. It's called Cyclospora, and health officials in Brunswick County have confirmed 16 cases within its limits, 14 in July and 2 in August. WECT's Emma Mayer spoke to the state health department today to learn more about how these cases were contracted and if there is a known reason behind them. Emma, what did the health department tell you?
Fran, the health department tells me the parasite is spread through people to fresh fruits, vegetables, and meats. This is why the department is stressing washing your produce thoroughly before touching your food, as well as cooking your meats properly. Right now, Wake County is seeing the most cases of Cyclospora. Health officials are declaring it an outbreak. The county has 123 reported cases between the beginning of the year to last week. According to the state health department, New Hanover County is the second county with the most cases at 17. But this is not being considered an outbreak. Dr. Carl Williams with the state health department explains that it can be difficult, though, to track down which foods are causing the illness, especially considering the period between exposure to symptoms can be an entire week.
They go back and interview those patients to try and look for the commonalities. You know, where did you eat? What did you eat? How was it prepared? The problem with a lot of those situations is that that's a time-consuming process, and especially with food history, it's very difficult to ascertain what someone might have eaten a week ago.
Columbus, Bladen, New Hanover, and Pender counties are all reporting no cases of the illness at this time, but the health department says it has seen an increase in cases every year since 2020. Williams says the best rule of thumb to avoid contracting Cyclospora is to wash your hands, wash your fruits and vegetables, and cook your meats to a temperature of 165 degrees. Emma Mayer, WECT News.
A man accused of pretending to be a massage